What's up guys, it's Bye here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. One of the most frequent questions that I often got is Guan Leo or Guan Alex for open field. So today we will take a closer look at the two pairings and I will tell you guys what I think. So one thing to keep in mind for this comparison is that my Alex is expertise and my Leo is not. My Leo is 5542, which is decent, good enough for this test. So like I wanted to wait to expertise my Leo to make the comparison video, but I think it's gonna be a while till I can start working on my Leo again. So it's better for me just to make the video now and I can adjust the results accordingly. So that out of the way, so let's go into a side-by-side video comparison here. So first thing first. One of the skill from Leo is that he can generate rage 15% faster, right? So let's go and take a look at like how much faster Leo can help Guan Yu casting the skill damage here. So let's go and take a look at this video here. So both marches here start at the same time. We got Guan and Leo on the left side and we got Guan and Alex on the right side, right? So I expect my Guan and Leo be able to cast the skill much more frequently, right? So let's see here. So on the left side, I casted a little bit faster, about like a millisecond faster there. So like we don't see a lot of huge difference in terms of like how fast the skill Guan you can cast. After about 23 seconds, I can see that like okay, now I can cast my skill about like a second faster comparing to the other side here. So my Guan and Leo on the left side can cast the skill about a second faster. Let's see the next one here. So I cast the skill a second later, a second and a half, or 2 second later. The Guan on the right side casts the skill again. Let's see again here on the next one. So I cast the skill on the left side here. Guan and Leo on the right side. Casting about the skill about 2 seconds after. So slightly faster there in terms of like how fast I can cast the skill on my Guan and Leo compared to my Guan and Alex there. So that you know that okay, the 15% rage engine from Leo actually does help. But it's not like super crazy, I would say. You don't see the chain very. I don't think it's gonna make like a huge impact in my opinions. But it does help you casting your skill a little bit faster. Okay, so next thing we want to compare the skill damage, right? So next one, let's do it again. Let's see how much the skill damage from my Guan and Leo versus my Guan and Alex here. One thing to keep in mind is that like Guan and Alex have very high attack at the beginning, or even like whenever Guan you cast the skill as well, because Alex can increase the infantry attack up to 70%. On the other hand, Leo doesn't have any attack boost, but he does have a damage increase. But I'll talk about it later. So on the left side, my Guan can deal around 3200 damage, 3600 damage here, and 2400 damage on. So on this side, here's the damage on my Guan: 2465, 3282, 3626. And on this side, we have Guan and Alex. First skill, we got a 3100 damage on the Richter, 4200 damage on the YSG, and another 4800 on the second YSG here as well. So very high skill damage from Guan and Alex. So the first skill, the attack boost from Alex definitely help with increasing the skill damage from Guan Yu right there. You can see the chain is very big, like a big difference there. One march with 70% attack increase comparing to one march with 0% attack increase there. So the damage increase is about, I would say about 1,000 more damage there. So that is one thing. So the skill damage from Guan is definitely helping there. So Guan and Alex, first skill from Guan is definitely a lot stronger than Guan and Leo there. Again, right, Guan and Alex is a very high offensive commander pairing compared to Guan and Leo is a very pretty high, and have good defense as well from Leo. All right. Next one we'll see. What happened when Alex and Leo cast the skill. So here we have Leo casting the AoE skill here. So Leo can hit up to 3 target, right? So he hit about 1500 damage there, 1700 damage, 1700 damage. So about 4000, 5000 damage in total right there from Leo skill damage alone. On the other hand, on the other side, we have Alex casting the shield on this side here, which can only absorb damage, but it also provides a buff for, like, let's say it can debuff up to like 3 marches there, so that 3 of the marches from the enemy got take extra 30% damage increase there. So that is something you want to keep in mind as well. So Leo does definitely help with the skill damage, can make up for the lack the damage from the first one, I would say. So that is another thing we need to talk about. So that is something you need to know, right? So we'll go through everything here, everything that I think I need to let you guys know. Next one, I do want to compare the normal attack damage and the counter attack damage here. Again, right, Guan and Alex have very high attack, so I expect their like normal attack is a lot higher. So here we got Guan and Alex doing about 1126 normal attack damage here against the Marches there, the YSG. On this side, we have Guan and Leo only doing about 878 normal attack damage against like Guan and Alex very high attack again, right? As I mentioned before, Guan and Alex have that 70% attack damage increase compared to Guan and Leo have a no attack damage increase there. So like every second on the first target that Guan Leo target or Guan Alex target, there gonna be like a 200 damage difference there, about 200 damage difference, right? 250, about 250 damage every second there. So like for every second, Guan and Alex can deal 250 more damage compared to Guan and Leo there. And we also want to take a look at the counter attack damage as well, right? So let's go here. So we also want to see on this side, we also want to see the like counter attack damage here, right? Here's the counter attack damage from Guan and Alex. Pretty high counter attack damage there compared to Guan and Leo. Here's the number on Guan and Leo. So like Guan and Alex definitely deal against a lot better counter attack damage compared to Guan and Leo there. Again, they have a higher attack that also result in more like counter attack damage as well. So in like every second, I would say when they're getting swarmed by like 4 or 5 marches, they can deal about 400 or 500 more damage, 400 to 500 more damage compared to Guan and Leo there. So Guan and Alex can deal 400 to 500 damage more counter attack damage every second compared to Guan and Leo there. So again, Guan and Alex kind of like better here as well in terms of a normal counter attack damage. Okay. So next one, we want to compare the damage taken, right? So the damage taken from my Guan. So this is the damage taken here. So my Guan and Leo taking 2000 damage every second from normal attack damage from the enemy, compared to the other side, my Guan and Alex taking 2400 damage every second there. So about 300 more, 300 damage better. So Guan and Leo here definitely deal about definitely like take less damage, take 300 less damage every second. Against, right, Leo have a defense, right? Leo has that 30% defense all the time. On the other hand, Guan and Alex doesn't have a defense, especially when you get swarmed. Like when Alex casting his shield, he will get some defense, but because you're getting swarmed, your shield got wear off very quickly. Probably right after you cast your shield, it's gonna be gone right away. That is why you don't see that defense kick in a lot. And you gotta be you got constantly see the number here. Guan Alex, it gotta take the damage a lot more compared to Guan Leo. Another thing that help with Guan Leo is that, like, because Leo has that 30% defense, right? When you in the mass PvP, it also help reducing the AoE skill damage you've taken from like the enemy marches as well. So that is another benefit there from using Guan and Leo compared to Guan and Alex. So we'll see. So we'll watch the entire video again to see like how these two can perform, like how these two commander pairing can perform comparing to each other here against the same 5 marches here. We'll see who got dive first and how much troop left from the enemy. So you can see on this side, right, like Guan and Alex can. So Guan and Alex is a very, very high single DPS as well. So you can see that like the YSG being target here. The YSG right here, he's go down pretty fast because Guan and Alex is a very, very high single DPS there. So you can see that like, the huge difference there between Guan and Alex versus Guan and Leo for the main target. The main target, like that YSG going down pretty fast. But the Guan and Alex go down a little bit faster compared to the Guan and Leo on the left side here. So like the Guan and Leo on the left side definitely last longer against, right, because they have the higher defense, will definitely help you stay longer on the field as well. One thing to keep in mind, again, need to remind you guys, is that my Leo is not expertise, right? So we are comparing a non-expertise Leo with an expertise Alex here. So like if my Leo have a higher skill, I will definitely last probably an actual 5 to 10 seconds longer. So let's go back to that media source again. So here, let's go down here. Go down here. So like Guan and Alex, even though Guan and Alex go down faster, but they can inflict more damage. So if you compare here, right? So ZYSG on the side here, he's go down, he take a lot more damage here compared to ZYSG on this side here. The Genghis Khan as well. The Genghis Khan definitely on this side. The Genghis Khan definitely take more damage compared to the other Genghis Khan on this side here. But again, there are like pros and cons for both of the commander pairings, right? So I would say depend on what you want. But like in my honest opinions, I think Guan and Alex is better when it comes to open field. Why? So let's go back into the game here. I will explain to you guys why I think that Guan and Alex is better in terms of the open field fighting. So one thing I do not like about Leo as secondary commanders when it comes to open field, because of his force skill. So his force skill can increase damage up to 40%, but there is a fallback for this skill here, because you need to constantly attacking on someone here. It's a while on the map, each attack has 25% chance to grant troop led by this commander 10% damage increase for 5 seconds. So for you to like keep triggering this skill, for you to be able to stacking the skill 4 times, you gotta have to be constantly attacking on someone. And a lot of time on the open field, you're not able to maintain that attack for very, very long time. So this skill is definitely not, I would say this skill right here, the Son of Lion, definitely do not work very, very well on the open field. It's kind of work very well in like a rally, because when it comes to a rally, like a long rally, right, like 1 hour, 2 hour rallies, this skill gonna be able to activate all the time because you gonna have that constant normal attack on the target every time. And with the 25% chance, a very high chance to activate this skill, you can activate this skill very frequently. Like compared to like when you think to like on the open field, it's it's definitely it definitely harder to maintain the force skill here or just to trigger it. Another skill that I do not like for Leo is that the third skill. So the third skill is when troop led by the commander are reduced to 50%. So like it had to go below 50% here. So like for you to actually utilize this skill, you actually had to fight until you go below 50%, which is often not what I do. So I don't if you see me like unless like I am rushing for something, usually I refresh my marches very frequently when they were like somewhat like yellowish or when they were in the middle in the border between red and yellow, I will definitely refresh my marches right away. So like for you to utilize this skill again, like you gotta be fighting like to the death. Pretty much, you gotta fight until you die. For you to be able to utilize this skill here, for this skill to kick in. So like, if you just want like a commander, to be honest, if you just want like a Leo as a commander to be able to use him on the open field, like to be honest with you guys, you don't even need this skill here. You probably don't even need this skill right here. So like 5511 Leo is definitely all you need. And I wouldn't recommend using Leo as a secondary for Guan Yu. I would recommend you to use Alex instead. And you can definitely use Leo as a primary commander. Why? Because he had defense talent tree. So defense talent tree is a very good talent tree here. Like I love the talent tree, especially on the open field. Like you can get an actual market with the defense talent tree. You can perform a lot better when it comes to a fighting mass PvP. You gotta be able to sustain a lot longer. But like other than that, like if you only have one option to bring a commander, let's say if you can only bring one commander inside Ancient Ruin or Altar of Darkness, like I wouldn't consider Leo as one of the options just because his third skill and his fourth skill are very hard to use, very difficult to utilize the skill when you compare to Alex. You can use his skill like all of his skill right away. Third skill you have a 10% chance to trigger. You don't need to go below 50%. So this skill work all the time. March speed very important when it comes to open field fighting as well, especially Ancient Ruin or Altar of Darkness. Like 30% attack bonus against it can help you boost up your Guan Yu skill damage, and even the force skill it work all the time as well. You can have very high attacks there. If you can manage your market very smart, if you're smart enough, you can deal very high damage to your target because Guan and Alex is a very high offensive pairing. Can deal very high single DPS as well as AoE skill damage as well. If you go back to that video again, right? I'll show you the skill from the first time again, right? Well, right here. Um, like very high, very high AoE skill damage boosts from Alex because of the attack increase. So very high skill damage for Guan and Alex as well. Um, so like, what would I recommend for you guys? Like, open field, definitely go for Guan and Alex. Like, I definitely think Guan and Alex is better. Even like, I think even if I expertise my Leo, I wouldn't think it gonna affect the result a lot. So one of the reason why I make this video today because I don't think it's gonna make a huge impact in the outcome in what I going to decide to what I'm gonna use. And like Guan Alex also has that crazy mobility as well, which can help a lot when it comes to Ancient Ruin firing or Altar of Darkness. So like for rally, like I would definitely think like Guan Leos can work very well when it comes to like a long rally where you expect a lot of like counter rallies coming because Guan Leo can last longer, can take on that counter attack damage. They can tank the counter rally as well, and like casting the skill faster can also help like silence the target more often, more frequently. And if you go back to the game here, I said before, right? The fourth skill is very, very important. It can trigger a lot more often when it comes to like a long rally because you have that constant contact on the target. Same go for the fourth skill. For the third skill here, in a long rally, your rally is gonna go below 50%, and you gotta keep it going, keep it going. So you got to be able to utilize all of the Leo skill here. So all of the Leo skill gonna be utilized in a long rally. So like I definitely think Guan and Leo is working a lot better when it comes to like a long rally where you expect like heavy resistance from the enemy. If you expect swarming, you definitely want to bring Guan and Leo to rally as well. Guan and Alex is you can use Guan and Alex for rally when you don't expect a lot of like resistance from the enemy, or you don't expect the rally to last very, very long, probably less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You can definitely use Guan and Alex. It could be a better choice. So yeah, so that is my opinion for what should you be using, Guan Leo versus Guan Alex. I definitely think that Guan and Alex is much better choice when it comes to open field fighting because I explained, right. That got summarized again here because the third and the fourth skill from Leo is very, very hard to trigger on the open field. But if you want to have like a cool looking primary commanders, Guan, Leo primary is a very, very good choice. So that if you want to use him, and to be honest with you guys, to think about again here, like if you just got use Leo solely for open field only, like 5-5-1-1 is all you need. You don't even need to invest anymore on him. So like I would definitely not go invest anymore on him anymore. One of the reasons why I make this video today because I don't think I'm gonna invest any more sculpture on him anymore because there are better commanders that I want to invest on. So yeah, I hope you find this video informative and can answer your questions there in more details. Thanks again for watching, guys.